Hi there, Dr. Alan Korber here from Royal Canin, and I just thought I'd take a moment to talk to you about the two categories of what we call personalities, really, when it comes to cat behavior. I realize it's a weird word to use since personalities normally talk about humans, but really that's what we talk about when we're talking about either a passive cat or an active cat. And there's 5 things that we want to keep in mind. One is that passive cats, and we'll take passive cats first, need a real sense of security. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you think about it for a second, if a cat is injured, then they allow themselves to be prey if they're in the wild. Under those circumstances, there's a threat to them if they don't have security. And so giving them an option to hide and be able to feel secure is really important. Secondly, and in conjunction with this, again, they need some places to hide. What do I mean by that? Some places that are up high. So for instance, a cat condo or a cat tree, perhaps one of the window hammocks that have the suction cups that you can adhere to the window. Something that allows them to get out of harm's way and be able to perceive anticipated threats. Thirdly, is the way that we interact with a passive cat. We don't want to force that interaction. We want to allow them to be able to sort of be undisturbed, allow us to be able to approach them in a quiet kind of way. And then fourth, around play. Play should be the kind of thing that's owner and cat controlled. And so what do I mean by that? Again, undisturbed. Something that's low key, something that allows us to approach them, allows them to be able to isolate if they so choose. And then finally, we want passive cats to be able to mark their territory. And again, that's, let's say, their cat tree or their cat climber, the cat condo, things that allow them to be more secure in their environment. The active cat, who needs more in the way of stimulation versus security. It's been shown that actually cats that are in the wild will spend roughly 18% of their time roaming or hunting. So definitely stimulation is important. That includes visual stimulation. So things like climbing, being in a cat climber, allowing them to be able to perhaps perch on a windowsill if that's an option. Those are things that are really important in terms of being able to give an active cat visual stimulation. And then you can teach an active cat often to come. But one thing to keep in mind is that come oftentimes needs to be non-contact. In other words, they approach you because they are responding to the command of come, but at the same time, don't reach. Allow them to approach you. From a play standpoint, things like interactive feeders and perhaps a word about laser pointers. While that's something that people love to use with their cats and lots of cats enjoy it, super important to make sure that we complete that sort of hunting type of process by allowing the cat to have a treat upon completion of the sequence so that they have a sense of sort of satisfaction and meaningfulness from that whole process. So something to really keep in mind. And then lastly, in terms of smells, just like marking is important to the passive cat, things like catnip might be something to consider with more of the active cat. Keep in mind that just like with people where we're kind of a mix of introvert and extrovert, cats are oftentimes a mixture or a combination of the passive and active cat. So don't be surprised if you're noticing similarities from each of the 2 main cat personalities. Thanks very much for joining us again today.